On this episode of Broadcasting Seeds, we welcome Gwen Purcell. Gwen is a full-time paramedic in central Pennsylvania. Gwen's passions include traveling the East Coast to Bigfoot conferences and introducing young adults to the Bigfoot phenomenon. She hopes the experiences will encourage the younger generation to continue research in the field. It was while driving with her husband that Gwen had her first experience with a Sasquatch as she watched it walk quickly across the cornfield by her home. After her sighting, many strange events that had occurred on her property started to make sense. She is the host of multiple podcasts and the creator and editor-in-chief of A Strange Knox magazine. She also is the founder of the Central Pennsylvania Bigfoot and Crytpid Festival. Welcome, Gwen Purcell, to Broadcasting Seeds. And we're live. So, Gwen.
Yes.
Tell us who you are.
I'm Gwendolyn Purcell. I'm the owner and creator of Got Knockers, Bigfoot researcher, paramedic, and I plan and organize the Central PA Bigfoot and Cryptid Festival, and I started a magazine.
And I
cover it all.
Started a magazine like a couple days ago.
Yeah, just last week. Yeah.
So let's start with Got Knockers.
Yes.
Actually, let's not.
Okay.
Let's start with a question that I ask everybody. It's kind of like, all right, so this high strangeness nonsense world that we're in, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Some people's UFOs, some people's cryptids. I know your answer, but at the end of the day, my audience doesn't. So, What is your gateway drug to this world? What was it?
I have had paranormal experiences since I've been 5 years old. So growing up, seeing the shadow man standing in your living room.
Sucks.
Yeah, we had a hat man that stood in our living room, and I never really noticed that nobody else saw the hat man standing in the living room. You're 5 years old. You just assume everybody sees him, right? It wasn't until just a few years ago, talking to my parents, I was like, oh yeah, about the guy with the hat standing in our living room. And she was like, what? Why didn't you ever tell me? And I'm like, I don't know, but I just assumed everybody saw him. So it wasn't a big deal. He wasn't scary and he never moved. He just stood in certain locations in the house and just stood there. So it looked like he was watching. But, I've had paranormal experiences my entire life. So, I'm 51 years old now. Paranormal experiences aren't that odd to me. I've kind of grown accustomed to them. We live in a haunted house, so it's, things happen all the time here.
Right.
But, the rabbit hole for me was Bigfoot. He literally walked across the cornfield 1,000 feet from my house, and I was like, what the hell is that?
Wait, what is that?
Yeah, I stared at it. I say it's the 30 seconds that changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Right.
When Bigfoot literally walked into my life, because that's exactly what he did. And it hasn't been the same since.
Wow. This is crazy.
I know.
Yeah, so you've told me that story. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so Bigfoot. Well, paranormal and then Bigfoot, really.
Yeah, paranormal, then Bigfoot. Yep.
And both kind of meld at this point.
Yeah, they do.
With all the other nonsense, right? So talk about Got Knockers.
I saw the Bigfoot for the first time in February of 21. Never believed in Bigfoot before this. So when I say I literally went down the rabbit hole, like immediately started researching sightings in our area, sightings in our state, and there were some which shocked the crap out of me. But then I I decided to book a BFRO camping trip.
Right.
That was like $400 to go. My husband said I was absolutely insane to pay $400 to go camping with total strangers.
Yep.
That could be Charles Manson for all I know. And, and go camping. He was like, this is ridiculous. But I went anyway, because it was my birthday, and happy birthday to me. And I tell you what, I had some very strange, weird experiences on that trip and met some of the most amazing people. Like Paul Bogdan, for example, he was leading the expedition for the BFRO. And that's what led me to you. You and I've become some pretty good friends. And so the $400 was a lot of money, but I learned from everybody who was there, and I made great friends that I still research with, 4 years later, and best $400 I probably have ever spent. But on that trip, one of the guys, Paul Mateo, I'm sure you know who Paul.
I do know Paul.
He found this branch on the ground and he picked it up. He cut it in half and he debarked it. And I jokingly was like, I'm going to make you a t-shirt when I get home. And so I came home. I made the Got Knockers t-shirt because it was supposed to be like a play on
the Knockers. Yeah, right. Correct.
And I mailed this t-shirt to him and he said, you have to trademark this like right away. And I was like, get the hell out of here. It was like a good 6 months before I decided to take the plunge and trademarked it. But that's how Got Knockers got started, on a BFRO expedition.
Right. So I got my first knockers from Paul Mateo too. Which is really funny. And I don't know if he meant to give them to me, but he left them. So they by default became mine, right?
Yes. Who knows? It could be
so Paul, if you need your knockers back you can have them. But I know he's got a gajillion.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So oh my God, that's really funny though. And I've still got them. I probably won't ever get rid of them because they're perfect and they're big.
Yep.
They're big.
And I was jealous. I was like, oh my God,
they're big knockers.
They're perfect. And but play on words turned into a business.
Oh yeah, it's really fucking funny. It's so funny. So yeah. And so Paul, that's it. So $400 to BFRO. That's how mine started too.
Yeah. So I'm not the only crazy person.
No, and it was pretty funny. But mine was in Allegheny ANF, just exactly where we were a few weeks ago.
That's where mine was at
a month ago.
It was a different location, but
ANF, right? So again, again, same ideas, same stuff, and you just meet new people every time you go out, right?
Gosh,
so it's really cool.
Yeah.
Some are cool, some people kind of weird, and some people are whatever, and some people stay, some people don't. You know what I mean?
Some people you think, boy, if I never see that guy again,
I'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
Again, right?
And then there's other people you're like, God, I want that guy's number.
Yeah, right. So you just you meet people and connect, and it's pretty cool. And sometimes you have experiences and sometimes you don't, but so let's move on to coolest Bigfoot experience. Your coolest Bigfoot experience.
Oh my gosh, my coolest.
Because there's a lot, but
there is a lot, but probably, oh my gosh, the coolest. I think probably the one that blew my mind the most was being at Salt Fork State Park.
Where's Salt Fork?
It's in Ohio.
Yep.
It's a state park there in Ohio. It's known for its Bigfoot sightings. They get quite a few.
Yep.
I actually went to this group camping thing. It was the first time I was ever there. I'm sleeping in the back of my Bronco on a Friday night. I wake up in the morning, don't think anything about it. We go out scouting for spots for Saturday night. And when we get back, I get out of the car and there's a handprint on the tailgate of my Bronco. Like I was sleeping 2 inches inside that freaking.
Right.
So I was like, what the hell is that? It was about 17 inches wide and it was just like fingertips, like it had just touched the car as it was walking by. And that to me was the freakiest thing, because I was right inside that car.
Yeah, that's
like,
nuts.
and it was, it's incredible. It was incredible. But the second night, the Saturday night I was there, I was sleeping in the back of my Bronco, and I saw it standing behind the car. So that trip was very like, holy shit. Like, I packed up Sunday morning so fast, I never said anything to anybody. Like, I just threw my shit in the back of the Bronco and drove home. Like, you know, I'm calling Mike on my way home going, you're not going to believe what the hell I saw last night.
Right.
Like, what? I'm like, it was incredible. But the fact that it was so close to me, like when I saw it, I was actually afraid to move.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to blink my eyes because it might hear me. And what is it going to do? Like, smash out my window, rip me out of the back of the Bronco? Like, I'm worst case scenario, right?
Right.
I'm going to get killed. It was insane.
So what people don't get it. Like, you know, people think Bigfoot, they're like, you know, Pacific Northwest, which absolutely, that's where the most condensed area of sightings are, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But Ohio, it's not that far behind, really.
No,
Like,
it's not.
there's a lot of Ohio and Western PA.
Yes.
Especially Southwestern PA. Like, not that far outside Pittsburgh. Like, what? Like
the Chestnut Ridge area.
Right. It's so crazy how
Mhm.
many sightings there are.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I think
And
it was Washington, California, Pennsylvania. That's
maybe
the third highest state in the country with sightings.
something like that, right?
Mhm.
It's just nuts. And Ohio's there too. Like the top 10. Yeah. And I couldn't believe Ohio. I was like, what? Why Ohio? Right?
The grass
Like, well,
man is real.
but you really don't realize how uninhabited a lot of Ohio is.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, that state park is thousands of acres of,
Right.
and a lot of it is untouched. They don't have park roads that go through it or anything. Like, you have to hike into there to get to some of these spots.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And that's the same thing with Pittsburgh. Around Pittsburgh, there's nothing else there.
Right.
Like, there's Pittsburgh and then there's nothing.
Right.
Basically, right?
Right.
And from Pittsburgh all the way up to New York, there's literally nothing.
Yes.
So and you get a lot, but see, you can see if you look at like the map, like the Bigfoot mapping project is like such an amazing tool now.
He did a great job on that. That was awesome.
And you can see like why because there is like population. What it is you have recreational areas, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you get all these sightings.
Right.
So like Allegheny National Forest, and those are slowly upticking, I think, because you've got more people
getting out there.
But like, what is this area right here? Like right around Lawson Heights.
Oh, yeah.
And then Greensburg and Deary, like in Western PA, you just have this like right around Keystone State Park. You have this like, there's just a lot of sightings, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, it's kind of like perfect Bigfoot Sasquatch habitat. Like, it's the rolling hill kind of farmland type stuff. And it's like they're right on the outskirts of this smaller city, right?
Yep.
It's like not too far from Youngstown. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
So, like the capital of the East Coast Bigfoots, right?
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
otherwise, and then the other place that is kind of shocking to me on concentration of sightings is New Jersey.
Yeah, and the Pine Barrens.
Yeah, which you have the Jersey Devil stories there too. So, oh man,
have you ever been there?
I have, and it is the eeriest place in the world. It is
Isn't it amazing?
Super, super spooky.
It
like
is.
For no, and it's not even like you're there and you're like, wow. I mean, it's really pretty. But you're there and you're like, what is going on. It's just there's this
Yeah.
air
Yeah.
to the
To
place.
crazy people like you and me, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like,
Each other
okay,
being
I'll go walking through here, no problem. Sure, sign me up.
We're like, when are we leaving? Midnight? Sure.
So stupid. Yeah, we'll go out till like 2,
Yeah.
3 in the morning,
Yeah.
light a fire,
Complete dark.
sit around and just wait for shit to happen. Or we'll get even dumber and go walking around in the dark, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
So just
That's what we do when we join this crazy field.
well, and you don't even think twice about it.
You
Like
don't.
you definitely get the anxiety part of it, like you get a little anxious and amped up.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't care. Like I'm
No.
just gonna go. I'm gonna do it.
If I come back, I come back.
My
I don't. This is how I die.
my wife and kids are like, can you just please come back? I'm like, yes, darling.
Yes.
I will do my best. I will
Yeah.
do my
I'll
best.
do.
Oh man.
Some days I think my husband would be like, she's on my last nerve. If she didn't
Right.
come back, it'd be, whatever. Every
Right.
time I go out, he's like, can you just please write me a note that says if you don't make it back, I had nothing to do with it.
Right. Like I need to know where you're at for the most part. And then like if you don't show up, so where I can like send people that maybe
Yeah.
can come get you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only there, like in the Pine Barrens, which there's a lot of vocal. The one thing I learned about the Pine Barrens, and I can't remember who I learned this from. There's visual stuff there too, but there's just so much vocalization there, I guess. That just is really insane.
Yeah.
But not only there, but up north, like around like what the hell is that? There's a wildlife refuge up there that's kind of borders the Delaware, the Water Gap, the scenic river.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
There's what the hell is it called? Wallkill River National Wildlife Refuge. There's so many sightings in there, so many, and they go back decades.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely insane, which I mean makes sense because it literally is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But then it's funny is like you go right over the border into New York. Not too much, right? And or into eastern Pennsylvania. It's not too much.
No.
In that area. I mean, they do have their sightings, but it's more of like a transitory thing, right?
Right.
It's so bizarre. So I mean, we've talked extensively about this type of stuff. And I mean, if you look at habitat and you look at like year-round temperatures, it would make sense that these places that we've just been talking about, like they live there the year-round.
Yeah.
But then you have like these transitory populations, maybe, or something like that come from like the Adirondacks.
Kind of like ducks or geese.
Yeah, maybe.
Migratory ones, and you have the ones that stay here.
Right. And ones that are more like nomadic. I guess you could look at it in all kinds of aspects, right?
Right.
Because who the hell wants to spend their winters in the Adirondacks? I don't. or like the White Mountains or wherever, because you have sightings all the way up through Maine.
I know this winter I'm going to be checking. I live about, I'm going to say 20 minutes from Centralia.
Okay. That place.
That place has been on fire since the late 60s, and nobody lives there.
It's like a real life Silent Hill, baby.
Yeah. All of the the mines that were there are all abandoned. And you can go out there in the middle of winter and see big pockets of steam coming up out of the ground.
Right.
And I think to myself, if I were something that was looking for warmth or shelter.
Yeah, it's almost like natural springs at that point, right?
Yeah, plenty of places that they could hide and have a house, basically.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So I hope to get out there and do some hiking out there this winter and just check it out.
Yeah, I was gonna do an episode on Centralia just because it's like, well, I used to play the video game Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know that game, but it's
No.
it's spook. It's basically Centralia is like a real life
Oh, wow.
Silent Hill. At least visually, right? Where you
It's
get
very
like
creepy to go there.
oh, it's super creepy.
Yeah.
And I've never been there, but from what I've heard, it's just super creepy.
When you drive through there, like the streets are still there. The
Right.
sidewalks are still there.
Yeah, there's like stuff in the houses, like people just
The houses are gone. They just,
all the houses are gone.
All
now?
the houses are gone. So like you have sidewalks, you have streets, and absolutely nothing. Like the Mother Nature is taking back over. Like there's trees where their houses used to be. But it's very surreal. Like you drive through there and you think, oh my gosh, at one time this was a thriving community. And now I think there's only 2 or 3 houses left where people are actually still living there.
Right. Why would they do that?
You know, they can't.
Yeah, there's what's that one road? Isn't there a road there that's got like graffiti all over it?
Graffiti highway, yeah.
Is that what they call it?
They actually buried that.
Wow.
They took dump truck loads full of dirt and asphalt and they just dumped it. So you have all these hills of stuff that cover graffiti highway. I don't know what the big deal was, but yeah, it's weird. People still go there, even though it's not there anymore. People still go there. So I don't know what their point was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
because there are some stories of like paranormal activity there as well and stuff, but you know,
there's 2 pretty large graveyards that are there that are kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say abandoned. I guess there's 3 of them. There's a really nice one that is still maintained by the Greek Orthodox Church or whoever it is that's up there, you know? And then there's 2 other cemeteries that have seen their better days. I mean, I guess the grass is cut, but that's about it.
Right.
But it's pretty creepy when you walk through these graveyards and it's just like lost people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, see, what's kind of cool there is you have those creepy graveyards.
Yep.
And then if you go there at night.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, I've heard a lot of stories now about, and I've never done it myself or experienced it myself, but there's a lot of stories now about especially old graveyards and a correlation with Dogman, more so than Sasquatch, but Dogman. And I don't know what that's all about, but
I have a friend that lives out in Aristus, which is the next town over. They're actually very close. And she has been telling me at nighttime when she goes outside with her dog that she has been hearing a lot of crazy, weird screaming type of sounds that she's never heard before. And she'll call me immediately and is like, girl, you gotta come here. Like, it's insane. And she's like, I've had bear and coyotes come out into her front yard. So like, she knows what they sound like. She says, this is not a bear or a coyote. This is something else. That even her dog is like cowering on the porch in the corner from whatever this is. I haven't gotten out there yet, but I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to see what she's hearing.
Absolutely. I'm trying to remember. I've just seen a lot of stories, a lot of just Dogman sightings around graveyards. So I don't know what that's about, but that would be cool to
go out there and just
I'll tell you what, Dogman, I don't know why the big guy, the big ape doesn't scare me half as much as Dogman.
Right?
Isn't that so ridiculous though?
Dogman sounds terrifying.
I mean, come on, man. Like the people I've talked to that have had encounters, I'm like, nope. Like but yet I still go out in the woods like it's nothing. You know, like I'm just waiting to get the shit scared out of me, I guess. But unreal. I mean,
you think that would stop you though?
The what?
Do you think that would stop you though?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I wouldn't know until I get it, right?
Yeah, because I've met people that have had there's a guy named James that I haven't talked to him in quite a few years, but he had a Dogman encounter and he is like years later still, like when he talks about it, his voice is shaky and he's like, he won't go on a podcast to talk about it. He's very
there's people
like, very traumatic.
Yeah, there are people that I know too that have had them, and like they're like lifelong hunters, right?
Yeah.
And they've had encounters with, dog man type creature, and nope, they're done. They're
Yeah.
done going in the woods.
Nope. I have
Like they don't even hunt anymore. They're like, no.
you couldn't pay them to go out there.
Yeah,
And you have some
seriously.
grown ass men that have done this their whole lives. They're out in the woods with a gun,
Right.
and they're like, nope, I'm not going back.
Yeah, just done.
Yeah.
And so some terrifying shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what to think half the time. I mean, I don't discount them at all,
No, not at all.
but I don't know. I just don't. I've never had to deal with. I mean, yeah, you and I know people that have said that they encountered Dogman as well, but it was different. So I don't know if it was the actual like terrifying Dogman that they encountered, right? So, unreal. All these damn cryptids, I swear. And it's like you just
narrow it down to one. That'd be great.
Yeah, right. Like, and what are we doing? Like, what?
I don't.
But
know.
I can't stop it.
No,
it's like an addiction, literally.
Absolutely.
So, what else do we have? You have the Central PA.
Bigfoot
Hold on, Central PA Bigfoot and Cryptid Festival.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Talk to me about this.
Because
I know it just keeps getting bigger.
Oh my gosh. It's become a beast all of its own this year. It's really out of my control at this point. It just is breathing and living on its own.
Right.
I'm just here orchestrating the chaos. 2 years ago, well, 2.5 years ago, I travel all over the Eastern Seaboard. I've gone to the UK with Got Knockers, and we traveled to all these events, and nothing is ever here. Like, it's all in the western side of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I had people say, oh, it's too far to go for that. We'd really like to go, but it's too far. We really want to come to hear you talk, but it's too far. And so, because my brain is always working, I'm always coming up with something. I said to my husband, listen, I think we should put one on here. And he was like, are you crazy? What if this doesn't work out? Like, what if nobody comes? And I'm like, well, we're not going to know unless we try. So that first year,
well, then nobody comes, man.
Right? Nobody comes, right? The first year we had 28 vendors and 5,000 people showed up.
It's just madness.
And then last year we had 110 vendors and we had about 7,500 people show up. And this year we're on track to have up to 200 vendors. And hopefully we have 10,000 people show up.
Yeah.
It's insane. And this year will be the first year that I have ever paid for a speaker to come. We have some TV personalities that will be here.
Gotcha.
And we have a 15-year-old autistic boy from the UK is coming over to talk about his Bigfoot journey.
He's a cool dude. He
is a very cool dude. And in fact, he called me right at the start of this podcast. I'm like, dude, I got to call you later. But this one is moving beyond a one-day event. We're doing a Friday night event with the kid that we're talking about, the 15-year-old. His name is Daniel, and Daniel, he's pretty high functioning autism.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's got his own podcast too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He has a podcast called Mythical Legends.
Yeah, and I've watched it plenty of times.
Yeah, he's a good kid. They're recording a documentary about his journey with autism and Bigfoot and how Bigfoot is helping him overcome some obstacles. And we've gotten permission from the production company to air that documentary on Friday.
Do a screening, right?
Yeah, so we're going to have a screening. And then Brian King Sharp is, unbeknownst to me, actually recorded an album 10 years ago. And one of the songs from that album is going to be used in the documentary.
Oh, cool.
Well, Brian King Sharp is going to be here. And Daniel's dad plays in a band, so they are going to perform that song live.
Cool.
After the documentary's over. And then we have a few surprises for Daniel and his dad. And then the festival will be on Saturday. And
what you told me about. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Daniel
can't give up those secrets right now.
No, we're not giving up any more secrets than that. And then Saturday's the event. We'll have 6 charactered costumes walking around. We have the Wendigo, a Bigfoot, a ghost, an alien, a shadow person, and there's one more, but I can't think of what it is off the top. Oh, Mothman. We have a Mothman that'll be walking around. So there'll be photo opportunities for, kids and adults to get their pictures taken with the characters. And we have 6 speakers that are going to be coming from all over. One from the UK. We have Kentucky. We have North Carolina. We have, they're coming from everywhere.
Brian's from North Carolina, right?
Yeah, Brian's from North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then Terry Wendell is also from North Carolina. Amy Boo is going to be coming. She's coming from Ohio. Daniel, of course, is coming from the UK. And we have Ronnie LeBlanc, who's coming down from Maine.
Ronnie.
Yeah, so Ronnie. And we have RPG, Ryan Golembeski from Expedition Bigfoot is also going to be here.
Very cool.
So it's going to be fun.
So that's August 9th, right?
Yeah, the 8th and the 9th.
The
special showing will be on the 8th, and then the 9th will be the main event.
And you have a website and the whole thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll make sure all that stuff is in the show notes and whatnot. So you brought up Wendigo.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'm more terrified of that than I am of Dogman.
Because people, it's so like, what the hell is it? Because some people will like align it with Bigfoot, but I don't know how they get that.
So you
know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had a couple of shows about this, and I actually have somebody that works, or I shouldn't say works with, he is Native American, and he works with Native American tribes out in Arizona. And we've had a show about the Wendigo because I'm just fascinated with this creature. And he says that it is an Indian thing.
Well, yeah, I think it started with the Algonquin.
Yeah, it's like the medicine man that turns to the black magic.
So almost like a skinwalker-ish type, but like for like the northern tribe. Well, the Algonquin tribes, I would say.
Yeah.
Which the Algonquin tribes are New England and northern, more northern and Canada, right?
Right.
So, yeah, man, that is so.
Now, I have a lady who lives probably 2 miles from me who swears that she saw a Wendigo in her back field behind her house. And I was like, what?
Man,
that's insane.
I just don't. I mean, like super strongly associated with winter, right?
Yes.
You see it. Have you ever seen the movie Alive?
No.
Oh man, if you haven't,
write this down.
Yeah, I think it's called Alive. I think that's right. This is why we have a Google machine,
right,
in our hands. So Alive, and it's about Alive. It is nope, that's not it. Alive is the one with the soccer team. They like eat each other. What is that called?
Yes, I saw that movie.
And this is not that. What is that?
Which is insane, by the way.
It is.
That's got its own scary moments.
Is this a movie called? It has to do with. I will figure it out, but it basically has to do with it's like the creepiest, weirdest comedy, sort of dark humor. Like, oh man, it's so bizarre. Like, you're like, okay, because the music is off its rocker a little bit.
Oh wow!
But it's really good. But it talks about the Wendigo and how it happens to people that eat other people, right?
Yeah.
I'll get that for you before the end of the show's over at some point, but I just can't. Why is it not? People are probably like screaming into the thing right now. It's this way, and I just can't. Ravenous.
Okay.
That's what it's called. It's 99, I think, ish, something like that. I'm pretty sure it's called Ravenous.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that talks about, oh, maybe that's not it. I don't fucking know. It's killing me. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like a horror comedy Western that deals with like the Civil War, like
Oh, wow.
out in like Sierra, like I want to say it's the sea. Yeah. There. Okay. This is it. 1840s California.
Oh, nice.
And like the Sierra Nevadas, and they get stranded and end up, it's during the Mexican-American War. What's the guy's name that's in it? Guy Pearce. You know who that is?
Oh, no.
He's good. David Arquette is in it,
Hmm.
and Jeffrey Jones, who no one knows who Jeffrey Jones is, but as soon as you see his face, you'll know who he is. And then Jeffrey Carlisle, who is a really good actor. He's a Scottish actor, and he plays this kind of wow. He's a colonel in the army. And man, you'll actually love it. It's twisted, but it talks about cannibalism and the Wendigo, right? How it's an evil spirit that overtakes you.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Which just kind of goes along with the thing, but like, man, what's up with the antlers and you know what I mean? Like the skull, giant. It's like an elk that walks on its hind legs with like,
which is funny because
no skin on its head, and
you could easily get it confused with a skinwalker.
Easily, right?
Easily, yeah.
And so, like, what is the difference here? But either way,
yeah,
I just thought that's another one of those terrifying story cryptid things.
My huge fascination is with the Rougarou.
The Rougarou, which is basically like a Cajun werewolf, sort of, right?
We go to New Orleans every year for Mardi Gras because we're both in parades, in carnival parades. I'm in the crew of Iris and he's in the crew of Toth.
Okay.
And the second I stepped off of a freaking airplane in New Orleans, I was like, oh my God, this is home. I could live here in a second.
This is my jam.
This is my jam. This place is amazing. And I love that it has its own cryptids, which is freaking awesome. But every time we're down there in February, they're not running the swamp tours
right
at nighttime because of the weather, and which is ridiculous because it's like compared to where I live, it's like 80 degrees and sunny down there. You know, it's 32 up here and freezing, and you go down there and you're wearing shorts and skirts.
Right. I mean, no, like you can get strawberries. You can get strawberries in like March now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Right? Yeah. But the Rougarou just, oh my gosh, I'm just mesmerized by this whole story. And I would love to like get out there and film footage out there in the swamps.
Or just doing an investigation, right?
Yeah, I would love it. Love it. Well,
I just wrote a nice little article about it for you.
Yeah, you did. I love it.
So yeah, it's funny that you bring up New Orleans because I just watched this show. It's a food show. And they were talking about this Mosquito Supper Club that's down there, which is kind of like it's like a really nice restaurant, I guess, but it's like an at-home type restaurant. So like it's in a house. And it's called the Mosquito Supper Club. And the food just looks ridiculous. So where this all comes from, this has nothing to do with cryptids or anything. But you know what, folks? I'm going to give you another story that talks about me and my family and our love of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this restaurant in Maine called The Lost Kitchen. It's in Freedom, Maine. And there's a show. It's been on a show on I want to say it's on Discovery, but it's like on Magnolia or one of their Discovery Food Network, but it's either way. So it's called The Lost Kitchen. Well, the only way that you can get reservations to The Lost Kitchen is, and this is, I think they're in their 10th year. that
Oh,
they've
wow.
done this. It's basically like winning the lottery. So you can't buy a reservation there. You can't, you could
You
give
just
them,
call up and say, "Hey, I'm going to be there on Thursday."
no. So what it is you send in a postcard
Oh my gosh.
and they draw them out of a pot. And then they call. And they only serve dinner. They only serve dinner. It's seasonal from May to September,
Okay.
Friday and Saturday nights of all those weeks, except for there's 1 week in July. I think one weekend in July they take off for like vacation. But they only do Friday, Saturday nights, and the restaurant only seats like 50 people,
Wow.
right? So it's like the most exclusive restaurant in the world at this point because you can't buy your way in.
Right.
So last year they got 70,000 postcards, I think.
Holy Nikes.
And my family, my postcard got pulled.
Oh my God.
So I was able to get a reservation for 4. I mean, I have 4, I have 3 daughters that live at home, plus my wife and I. So I couldn't get 5. I couldn't make it work because there just weren't, they have tables for 5, but I couldn't work out the dates. Right.
Yeah.
And you just get what you get to an extent because
Right.
they only have so much for when you get drawn.
Right.
So I took the reservation for 4. And we went up, and I mean, it's not cheap either. It's, but it's like a 14-course meal.
Oh, wow.
And it's just amazing. The food is amazing, right? So, everything from it's Maine.
Yeah.
Come on. And everything's farm to table, right? So, we spent a ton of money on this dinner, but it's probably one of the best meals I've ever eaten. Well, so they have another.
Not going to get that experience again. So
Probably never.
Right.
It's like, I mean, there are people that have gotten pulled more than once, but
we're not that lucky, dude.
Probably not that lucky. But I'm not gonna stop sending in postcards. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna start sending postcards.
Yeah. So you send them in April. It's pretty cool. It's just a cool system, right?
Yeah.
And like you sit in like family style, like we were sitting with like 4 other people on one side and 4 or 5 people on the other side. So you talk with people, you meet people. It's just really cool. But they have another show that the woman's name is Erin French. Her and her husband do a show in the off season during the winter, and they drive around. So the first episode though was in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
And I can't remember the name of that show. But either way, the Mosquito Dinner Club was on that show.
That's awesome.
And it looks ridiculous. So, and it was kind of the same atmosphere as the Lost Kitchen too.
Nice.
So yeah, either way, long drawn out story, but whatever. This is what podcasts are for.
That's right. That's right.
And I have been to Louisiana before, or to New Orleans specifically, but also Shreveport. And I wasn't there for the Army. And most people that have been in the Army have been to Louisiana, to Fort Polk, Louisiana, which, by the way, has multiple dogman sightings.
Oh,
at Fort Polk. So if you've ever heard of the guy, something Grid Square, Tales from the Grid Square. I think he's got a couple episodes, but Tony Merkel on the Confessionals has a really good episode about Fort Polk Dogman. So anyway, this is your interview. I don't know why I'm talking.
Oh no, dude, we're 2 friends having conversation.
Right. So, but yeah, man. So that's freaking cool. Rougarou. What else? We've got the
swamp
Cajun
ape.
Sasquatch, right? The swamp ape, the
Yep.
Louisiana, and people like to make a delineation between the Louisiana swamp ape and the Florida swamp skunk ape, right?
Right.
So who knows?
Yeah.
But very crazy.
Honey Island swamp monster.
Yeah, and what did I send you that French name?
I think I have
they call it.
I actually think I have it pulled up right here. Oh, no, that's the Rougarou article that you wrote for me. Let me see here. Da, da, da.
Oh, I got it. La Bête Noire,
Yeah.
which I think just means the black beast, right?
Yes, the Black Beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And that's the Honey Island swamp monster too. I mean, that's another name for that specific like thing, right? So
Yep.
man, and then voodoo and all just the madness down there. And like, did you ever read Anne Rice as a kid, or
No.
like like the vampire stuff?
No.
That was all, I swear,
Not
like
New Orleans.
it's all New Orleans. Like the
Yeah.
interview of a vampire.
I have seen that.
All right, but that's a book.
Right.
And that takes place, I think like half of it takes place in
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Also, that's a show on AMC now too.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes place in New Orleans. So
yeah,
very cool.
Yep. Yeah, I have a fascination for Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen. She's, oh man, she is the most interesting woman I have ever read about. I've been to where she lived growing up in New Orleans. It's right down the street on Bourbon Street. They actually have a Marie Laveau House of Voodoo on Bourbon Street that I go to every year that we go down there. It's got all kinds of cool stuff in it. And yeah, she's just a legend there.
Oh yeah.
Thousands of people flocked to her gravesite. In fact, they had to cordon it off. You can't even get close to her grave anymore because people were leaving all kinds of crazy things. And
like, what about it? What about her is like so?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, what is so intoxicating and what's the draw?
I don't know what it is. Like she healed people.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, she at one point turned into like a Catholic voodoo priest.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what voodoo is, right?
But yeah, she was accused of doing a lot of not so nice things.
Yeah, right.
And because people were afraid of her, like you were afraid to cross her.
Yeah, because
she would cast some kind of voodoo spell on you, which I would love to be able to do. I think I'm just jealous because man, that woman had some power.
Right. Yeah.
And she was just a complete and total legend. Like people went to her to get healed when they were sick and had things wrong with them. And people went to her, when they were having issues in their lives. And she was just, I don't know. I think she's probably the most misunderstood voodoo princess out there. Like, yeah.
Yeah, voodoo's crazy religion.
It is very crazy.
I mean, and it's just because it brings in so much, between African spiritualism with Roman Catholicism and everything. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you kind of just I don't know. It's amazing.
Like herbalist stuff, herbalism, and just all the things.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that. I did a podcast, I think, an episode on voodoo.
Yeah, she did. Because I listened to it.
Yeah. So in Louisiana, voodoo, to be specific, is a little different too.
Yes, very.
It just adds in different, again, more of a melting pot thing. Yeah. So very cool.
Yeah.
It's just, man. So this all right. So now to the magazine. Strange.
I don't have anything else to go, to do in my life.
Right.
Let's start
I've got enough stuff. We decided to start this
magazine,
quarterly magazine called Strange Knocks,
which is kind of a play on God Knockers, Strange Knocks. And oh my gosh, I think I have in total, I think I have 9 people writing articles.
Yep.
For the magazine. We're going to sell subscriptions, which I'm probably going to get out in the next day or 2.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And
it is. It's pretty cool.
We're getting a good buzz about it. People are like, oh my God, a magazine. I can, I want it to be.
It's like a dying art almost.
It is a dying art because this is not going to be a digital magazine. This is going to be a hold in your hand, flip through the pages, magazine, and which I think is a lost art because you can pull anything up on your cell phone. But I buy books.
Right.
And Michael say to me, you can get that on the Kindle. And I'm like, I don't want a Kindle. I want a physical book in my hand. Right.
I want to turn the pages.
Right. So I want this magazine is going to be like a melting pot of weird, cryptid, alien, UFO, supernatural, paranormal. It's going to have everything. Yeah. There will be something for everyone inside this magazine.
So cool.
I can't wait. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And you just out of nowhere, one day I get this text from you. Hey, I've got this crazy idea.
Yeah, you're going to think I'm nuts. You're going
to, I think you actually said, as if you don't have enough to do, I think is what you said.
Yeah. It was, I surprised a lot of people with that similar text message.
Yeah.
Hey, would you be interested in writing an article for a magazine? They were
That's it. Bennett with like 30 exclamation marks. What if I started a magazine? Would you be interested in submitting articles? Yes. Yes, I could write tons, I said. But it's not like we're not busy enough.
Right?
But
let me just throw something else into the mix.
Whatever, dude. It's just another outlet. It's cool, and it's like one of those things. And these are hobbies that we're not getting rich or making.
No.
If we're lucky, if they can pay for themselves. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, because I'm not going to have a mansion somewhere, like the straight mansion.
Right.
This is basically for fun, and it's basically. I love creating, like you send me your article, and I love creating the pages.
Right.
That was awesome. And when I was done, I was like super proud of myself. Like the supervisor at work yesterday, I was like, come here. And she was like, what? And I'm like, look at this. And I thumbed through your article, and she was like, oh my God, Gwen, that's really good. And I'm like, yes, I know. Isn't that
I know this is awesome.
I'm writing a magazine.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
And you got some cool people involved. So it's not and it's just about doing it the right way and keeping egos out of it and all this stuff,
When I approached Sean Forker about it, he's like, I think we should research why all of the other ones failed.
Yeah, I'm on that on that thread, and I was like, dude, that's really smart. Like, why have the other ones? Because I know there have been other ones, but why did they fail?
But I don't know that, and just in like thumbing through, because honestly, I haven't like deep dive researched why magazines didn't make it. But I don't think they are of the caliber magazine that we're attempting to create.
Maybe, right. And that's always
everything.
Right.
Like there will be something for everyone.
Well, and let's be honest, technology is a different animal right now.
It is.
So it's never been easier to publish your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you're not trying to make money, like trying to like make a profit, like I need to sell X amount of magazines because I could only make 100, or I had to do because what I mean is like batch sizes. Like we could probably print 10 magazines. They might cost a little bit more, but then you know what I mean?
The more magazines you order, the cheaper.
But back in the day, it was a minimum run of 1,000.
Yeah. Yep.
And they were probably ridiculously expensive. So, I mean, we're from the generation where you would go and buy magazines.
Yes, we are.
Whereas then a lot of people younger than us, they're just not. Like that didn't exist.
Yeah, they're like magazines.
What is that? Hell is a magazine? I'm like, and Barnes and Noble's making a freaking comeback. So,
oh, I hear you. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Kids today don't even have school books; they give them laptops.
They do. I know. I
pick up kids on the ambulance that can't even sign their own name because they don't know how to write in cursive.
Yep, correct. Which is a whole nother. I'm not going to get on that soapbox, but because one thing I will say though about this, and this is for people in my audience, kids that can't write cursive or people that can't read cursive is absolutely terrifying, because in this wonderful country that we call the United States of America, all of our founding documents are written in cursive.
Yep.
So if you can't read cursive, how easy would it be to change what they say?
Absolutely.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Putting it out there.
Putting it out there. You can change the digital word.
Yep.
Even easier than the written.
Yep.
So just putting that out there.
I mean, Wikipedia is full of true facts, right?
Oh yeah,
anybody can change
nothing weird there.
Yeah,
and the news is totally believable.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for this as well.
Your article was the first article that I put together into the magazine print, and I sent it to you, and I was like super excited.
I love it. I think
I was on like pins and needles, like, oh my god, is he gonna like it?
Yeah, I love it.
What's he gonna say?
I don't like my giant picture there, but you gotta sacrifice.
Well, I was gonna make a section for meet the contributors.
Right.
And as I was putting your article together, and I was like, this is perfect. Just pop it in at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, meet Bennett. This is who he is. This is the first article. He's going to be writing articles for us. This is who he is. So the next one won't have your.
I try to be the best looking guy in radio. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So this is why I don't do visual podcasts. But anyway, no, that's just it's funny. Either way, I haven't gotten there yet. But no, I'm in that picture, I think is about 10 years old. So I don't think I have any other headshots. But whatever, man. You got to do what you got to do. And it's
and I scoped people's Facebook pages for theirs.
Oh yeah, no. You don't want to do that for mine.
I was like, you didn't send me anything, so I'm just going to go to your Facebook and I'm going to pull a photo that I like.
That's it.
That's what I did.
Yeah, man. Yep. I get like action shots, like, pouring like a Bigfoot cast or something.
Oh my gosh. Carter's photo is awesome. I can't wait to put that in there and show everybody. I love Carter too. Carter is amazing. And I have not met him yet, but that's going to happen in the next year or so, because he's just very, very cool.
That's the other thing that happens in this is you meet a lot of people like online.
Yeah.
And you just you've never met them in person. And then the next thing you do, and it's just cool. I love it.
I love.
And I mean, this community is pretty awesome, but there's a lot of shitheads too.
Oh my God. Well, there's shitheads everywhere you go, but
exactly true. But
this community, I'm telling you, has given me, if nothing else, I don't want to soapbox anything, but I've had a really hard life. It's been very difficult. And at times there were times when I didn't want to go on.
Yeah.
And despite my best efforts, I'm still here. So with that being said, some of the best people I have ever met that have become great influences on my life have been in this Bigfoot community.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the cryptid community. I could not imagine, and maybe that's why Bigfoot walked into my life. Maybe he knew I needed better people.
Maybe, right.
Sure, but
you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if that happens to be Bigfoot,
well,
there you go.
But if it would not have been for him walking across that field, literally into my life, I would not know you or Paul or any of those. Matt, Sean would never know
any of them, right?
And so,
plus, you wouldn't have started a business called Got Knockers.
I would not have started a business. My life would be very boring.
Very different.
I can't imagine what my life would be without all of you, without the research, without the camping trips, without the laughs, because we do a lot of laughing.
Oh my God. Because if nothing else, it's definitely entertaining. This entire shit show that we've created.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It is extremely entertaining.
Very, very entertaining.
But that I have a whole family of people that I would have never met if it wasn't.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And I am eternally grateful.
Yeah, I am too.
Even if I
It's
never
pretty
see
awesome.
him, if he never sits next to me by the fire with a beer and tells me what his damn secrets are, I'm at least eternally grateful that I have my extended family.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So with that, I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Tell us where we can find you.
Oh, I'm like Bad Money. I'm everywhere. I have 3 podcasts. I have From Behind Tall Trees on the YouTube channel. That's on the CARC Universal channel on
CARC is what?
Catskill Appalachian Research Collective
Okay.
channel. And then I have Bigfoot, the podcast, which is on Bigfoot Country Radio, which you can find on iHeartRadio, Apple Radio, Spotify. There's a whole bunch of them where you can find that podcast. And then I have a separate podcast about mental health issues, and that's called the Warrior Club Podcast.
Yep.
Which is strictly about, mental health issues, depression, suicide, that kind of stuff. I have my own YouTube channel. It's the Got Knockers YouTube channel.
Got Knockers YouTube.
See my big head there with my orange hoodie on because I love that orange hoodie. That's my YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, I manage like 3 different websites. The Got Knockers website, the Strange Knock. Well, there will be a Strange Knock.
Strange Knocks.
There will be, I do the Central PA Bigfoot and Cryptid Festival website. I also do the Agents of the Unexplained website, and I do the Penn, Ohio Paranormal Conference website.
Not doing anything.
No, I'm not doing it. And now I'm creating magazine. So
Right, exactly. Publisher.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just
I'll put all these things in the show notes. It'll be available. So check them all out, folks. Seriously. Yeah, and Agents of the Unknown is Bill Rigby.
Bill Rigby, yep. Agents of
and
the
that's
Unexplained.
also on Agents of the Unexplained.
Yeah.
And he's also got a podcast on
Facebook. Agents of the Unexplained. Yep. His podcast. Yep.
Very cool. Met him. He's a character.
He is a character.
To say the least. So yes.
He's my brother from another mother.
Yeah, man. He's a trip. He is a trip.
Tell you, we meet some real characters in this film.
For sure. All right. With that, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
I'm sure we'll do it again.
I'm sure.
You know it. So
yeah. Magazine launch time.
Exactly.
That make my mind scared, hold me hostage and they don't fight fair. Who gon' pray for me and wipe all my tears? Who gon' save me if you not right here? Move this darkness and make my sight clear. Take me your way cause I don't like here. Ghosts of my past, they feeling the night air. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Drowning, I'm off the deep end. Apparitions of all my demons. All my thoughts are committing treason. All alone, who gon' hear me screaming? Manifestations of my fears. Regrets that stretched out for light years. Can almost touch the light, homie, it's right there. Body free but trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, don't let me drown. All the lights are fading.